Whoa. There we go. What up, Akash? Hello, hello. What is the... Man, wait, do you have to log into your Minecraft account now with your Microsoft account email or your... Like, so is your Microsoft account email and your Mojang account email the same thing? Because I am not getting into my account. I have no idea why. Wow. What's up, Ankita? How are you? Any questions? So that's not the right one. Please go back and sign in with Microsoft. Okay. Sophomore is hard, like harder than freshman year? Actually, I'm not surprised. I've heard that, I hear that pretty frequently. It's not uncommon for students to come back from their sophomore year and kind of like reminisce a little bit about how much easier it was. And I think that's a fair enough thing. Like at least with biology, I know that like that class is meant to be a little bit like more introductory into science. And so as you go forward, you start to take some of the sciences that are like a little bit harder. They tend to be a little faster paced. They tend to hold your hand a little less. So like when I teach bio, I go way slower and I do more processing time and like spend more time going over the same things than I do, for example, in like AP Environmental Science. We go really fast. We kind of like hit, and that's just because the amount of content that you're required to cover is huge, and so you can't really afford to slow down, or else you will not finish through the year, and then people are kind of screwed on the AP test if you don't do that. What up, Airbus? Sophomore year was the hardest for you as well? People, yeah, junior year. I guess junior year is usually considered the hardest because that's the year in which you usually get slammed with, I think it actually depends. If you're somebody who's going to take a bunch of AP classes, then junior year is probably going to be the hardest because you'll cram in like an AP Science with A push and maybe even like AP Calc or something like that some people go for. So the combination of all those things together kind of hits different. Okay, so I see now with Minecraft. Got it. You log in with your Microsoft account. Understood. Understood. Okay. If I can only remember my Microsoft account password now. Jeez. I wonder how many times it'll let me do this without locking me out. Oh, got it. So it's harder for you because for me it was remote, so it was the easiest so far. Interesting, Akash. Yeah, I suppose remote. See, that's another one that I've heard a lot of differences on. A lot of people said remote was really difficult because they didn't have access to the same kinds of supports. They didn't. They weren't able to kind of be face to face with teachers and get like be able to hear things or work with groups. You took 4 APs in your self-studying. That's right, but Akash, you did something different. You're trying to self-study for apes this year, aren't you? No, I have not tried Windows 11. Airbus, you took APUSH, AP Calc, and AP Physics, but still found it to be easier than sophomore. I wonder if because maybe the transition from AP... Oh wow, why am I lagging? Oh yeah, because... There we go. Okay, that was weird. I think every time I start up Minecraft, there's always lag. But I'm not... Oh wait, what's happening now? Okay, should be catching up. Give it a second. I'm hoping it comes back. Yeah, okay, we should be good now. When is the fall play, by the way? Okay, so coming up pretty soon, end of October, beginning of November. Cool, cool, cool. Let's go ahead and switch our scene here. Oops, that's not the right scene. There we go. What's up, Ishi? Hi. What up, Nathan? What is up? I'm trying to check back in on the old Minecraft server, but I've been having difficulties logging in, and I'm trying to see if I can get this thing to work. Let's see. You had a question about monomers. Yeah, go for it. Water time. Oh, I have to put my, shoot. There it is. I see that. I see Erebus, you had me hydrate as well as Nathan. Okay, got it. So I've been drinking a lot of carbonated water lately, and as far as I was aware, like, it was a pretty healthy choice, but then someone brought up to me this idea that it's not good for your teeth. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, well, carbonated water is basically when you put CO2 into water, and we know that CO2, when it mixes with water, creates carbonic acid. And maybe the pH of like bubbly water is too acidic, and it's not good for your teeth. Let's look this up. All right, so let me see. We're gonna go, boom. There we go. Put this down a little bit. So let's look this up. All right, so let me answer your question, Ishi, real quick before we talk about something completely off topic. What exactly are monomers and subunits? Okay, so let me pull up another way to kind of think about this. What up, Arcane? Sanjay, yeah, you remember this stuff. Okay, monomers and subunits. So the way to think about this is you have 4 biomolecules. Turns out that of these 4, 3, well, actually, let's do this. Let's just list them. Carbs, proteins, and nucleic acids. These 3 are monomer and polymer situation. Whereas lipids have subunits. Okay, later on, Kita. Thanks for dropping in. So the question is, well, what do we mean by monomer polymer versus subunit? So the way to think of it is, if I have so this is what a monomer polymer situation looks like. We'll draw a diagram down here. So we'll split this, and then we'll draw a diagram of subunits down here. So monomer polymer would be like if I have repeating units. So the classic example we could use is, let's talk about proteins as an example. So you have an amino acid connected to another amino acid. I'm just using different colors because remember we have 20 different amino acids. Connected to another amino acid, so on and so forth. And another one, so we'll just stop there. just as an example. So this is a monomer and polymer chain. This is a chain of monomers. So we could say each of these is a monomer. The whole chain, right, is a polymer. And so basically, what we're looking at is each individual unit is repeating over and over again. We're getting a monomer connected to a monomer connected to a monomer, repeating. With lipids, the subunits look a little bit different. We don't have a repeating chain like this. Basically, what you have in a lipid, and just to sort of draw this very briefly, you have a head. We call this the glycerol head, so we'll just sort of label this. We have glycerol. Oops, let me change this real quick. We have the glycerol head, and this is connected to, I'll just use this purple, I guess, I suppose. Like this. This is, we call this the fatty acid tail. So this is the glycerol head. And then this long part, well actually it's this whole part, it's the purple part. That part is the fatty acid tail. So we'll just label this tail. Fatty acid tail. FA is going to be the abbreviation for fatty acid, and then this is the glycerol head. So you'll notice that the difference is with this situation, we only have two things. We have the head and then a tail. It doesn't go head, tail, head, tail, head, tail, head, tail. If it were to go head and then tail and then head and then tail, then we would say that's monomer polymer. But we're not having a repeating pattern here. It's just you have the head at the front, and then you have this long tail. And this tail can be longer or shorter depending upon the lipid. But there's really only two pieces. And we call these the two subunits. So a lot of students get confused about this. And I guess this is the best way I can think of to explain it. So if that doesn't make sense, feel free to ask me a follow-up question, Ishi, and I can try and explain it more. But I will answer, am I pronouncing your name correctly? Vivekanand? Vivekanand? Can I show you how to find which amino acid? Can you rephrase your question? Can I show you how to find which amino acid? I'm kind of confused at what you mean by the question. If you could rephrase it, I may be able to help you out. Yeah, we're done with it. So, Sanjay, the order of, if you remember, I can't believe you've already forgotten. I'm just kidding. The order is this. It goes ecology, goes eco, then cell bio, then genetics, then evolution, and then physio. And we are right here. We started it this week. Arcane. There is no such thing as a mini lipid. There's different kinds of lipids. So if we just look up types of lipids and we just take a look at some images, you will see like, maybe this is a good pick. So this is a decent pick. It shows a couple things. One, it shows maybe, well, actually this is really only showing one lipid. But like the difference between different lipids is how many tails they have coming off of the head. Also the kind, like if the tail is like has a lot of bends or kinks in it, or if it's a straight tail. Also how long the tail is or how short it is. So really the difference between different types of lipids is not the order of the repeating monomers, it's the length and number of tails coming off of the head to an extent. Okay, Ishi. Why is lipid the only one with subunits? I don't know the answer to that. It's just the way life exists on Earth. I wish I had a better answer for you. It's just one of those things where you just have to know what the characteristics of the molecules are. The molecules just exist the way they exist due to, some, physical processes that happened to create them, and they evolved to be that way over time, and that's just the way they are. Right? So when you ask a question like, why is lipid the only one with subunits? It's kind of similar to asking the question like, why? It's like a very fundamental question, right? You're like, why does water have 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen? It's like, well, I don't know. It's just the way it is. Maybe, but it's even more fundamental. It's maybe even more fundamental than physics to an extent. Like you start to ask questions about like why is the nature of the universe the way it is? You start to get into sort of questions that we don't really have good answers to, So let's get to the bottom of this. Is carbonated water safe to drink? So I was always under the impression that, okay, I can drink carbonated water. I still get the bubbly sensation that sodas provide without all the sugar that's not so good for you. So it seemed like a healthy alternative. But now the question is the acidity due to the CO2 mixing with the water a problem? When a drink is carbonated, carbonic acid develops in the liquid. This alone is not usually enough to damage teeth, but some beverages like club soda can sometimes contain disodium phosphate, potassium bicarbonate, potassium citrate, potassium sulfate, All of these additives can affect the acidity level of drink, increasing enamel corrosion. So if you're just drinking plain old water that's got some CO2 bubbled into it, they're just saying that it's not enough to damage the teeth. But I don't trust just a random source like this. What is this? Experts say LaCroix could be bad. I wonder if there's done like a study on this. Cryptic Aqua, can I explain 4 levels of protein structure? Sure, absolutely. I think Ishi, did you have a question? So the tails and lipids can vary? Exactly. Right. So Ishi, the difference between different kinds of lipids is the number of tails and the length of the tail and the amount of the amount of bends and kinks in the tail. Let's just look up images of some examples of lipids structure. Right, so here's an example. Here's a good one. So cholesterol is a weird one. I'm going to ignore cholesterol for right now because it's like not your normal lipid shape. It's got these weird like rings on it. But you can see, like, here's like a regular free fatty acid that just has a head. There's the head here, and then the tail. Then you have a triglyceride, which actually has 3 heads connected together, each with a tail coming off. And then you have a phospholipid that has the head up here that kind of has this phosphorus on it with 2 tails coming off. So all of these are different kinds of lipids. And Arcane, you're actually kind of right. The idea of like physics explains chem explains bio. It sort of like builds on itself, right? So biology is sort of the highest, is a further up the chain of causality in terms of like natural sciences. So like a lot of biology, if you really want to understand why things are happening inside of a cell, you have to learn about chemistry to figure out how molecules interact. But if you want to know like why molecules interact the way they do, you have to get down to like the physics of the way things interact. So physics is more fundamental than chemistry, and chemistry is more fundamental than biology. And then biology is more fundamental than something like, anthropology, like the study of human cultures and human societies, right? So biology can help explain some of the anthropology stuff. Yeah. If you ask why forever, you eventually get to physics, but if you keep asking whys, eventually you end up with a spot where we just don't have the answers because we don't know right at the bottom. Or you start to get into philosophy, in which you're dealing with things that are not really kind of sciences. All right, Cryptic, let's talk about your 4 levels of protein structure. Structure. And that's also where religion often comes in at that end. Once you get to the end of those whys, and you start to find a place where that's no longer explained by physics or anything in science, religion sort of sneaks in and goes, well, we got God. And they pop in there. Let's see. I want to put an image for you, Cryptic, that we can use. Here we go. I like this one usually. I've seen this one before. Oh, it got cut off on this version. Let's find a better one. The one I used in my slides was this one, so maybe we'll just stick with the one I used. Yeah, let's just go here. Okay, so is this clear enough? Hopefully you can see this, but actually let's go ahead and copy this image and then we will slide it into this paint diagram so that we can mark it up a little bit. Okay, so let's mark this up and talk about it. So basically, there are 4 levels, right? So this level 1, right? This is level 1 at the top. All that these levels of structure are basically just describing the process by which a protein is formed and then folds. So if we start with like, so this is primary structure. So level 1, aka primary, is just the order of the amino acids. So it would be like, what is the actual sequence? So if someone told you that you have a one amino acid called, like, let's say this is alanine, right? Alanine, and then the next amino acid is leucine, and the next amino acid, right? And they just kept telling you the sequence. What they've told you is its primary structure. It's just the order of amino acids, right? So the primary protein structure is considered the sequence of amino acids. Okay. Then, if they are going to tell you a little bit more about the protein, they'll describe the level 2 structure. Right? And this is when now the chain that we just described in level 1, at certain regions in the chain, it starts to fold. When I say fold, I mean like sequences of amino acids that are near each other start to cause the chain to like bend a little bit. Like, so you get these helixes or these sheets. So you can imagine like a chain of amino acids might look like this, right? In level 1. Level 2, what you're going to see is maybe that chain starts to bend like this, right? And so now instead of being a flat line, it's like this, it's got these like little bends in it. It's starting to take its shape, basically, at level 2. Level 3 is when the entire length of the protein, so not just like a small section, but the whole thing starts to fold up onto itself into a 3-dimensional shape. Right? So what's happening here are small local sections are starting to form these sheets and helixes. And then over here we have like distant sections fold, right? So we might say that like one place in the chain is now folding all the way around to a whole nother place in the chain. And what's happening with this folding up process is the whole protein is starting to look more and more 3-dimensional. So we're starting to get like a 3D shape at level 3. And then level 4 is just when more than one protein connect to each other. So this is going to be multiple chains. So level 4 is multiple chains fold together. Okay. Not every protein gets to level 4. Some proteins, they are a complete finalized protein at level 3, but there are some proteins that exist that go to level 4 where they connect to other proteins to make a larger protein. So I don't know, Cryptic, if that is clear. Was there anything about that that you have further questions about? I can go a little bit more into it if you would like. Okay, no problem. Let me know if you have any other questions. All right. All right, so I found a study from like 3 years ago that looked at the effect of carbonated water on enamel, etched or sealed enamel. The purpose of the study was to determine the effects of carbonated water on etched or sealed enamel according to the carbonation level and the presence of calcium ions. Results. Is this even a good study? Carbonated water has negative effects on etched or sealed enamel, resulting in a decreased micro hardness and removal of the adhesive material. I don't know how good this is. I'm trying to think about what you just wrote there, Sanjay, if that makes sense to me too. So psychology is just applied qualitative biology. No, actually I would say no. I would say therapy or counseling would be applied. Well, hold on. Psychology is the study of the human mind. So maybe therapy is applied psychology. Yeah, okay. Psychology is just applied qualitative biology, but it's also so sure, okay. Biology is just applied. What up, Marcus? Hey. Ben? Yeah, it has been a long time. How's it been? How's life out there in the world floating around? Biology is just applied chemistry, physics is applied math, math is just applied philosophy. Math is applied philosophy. I guess so. I guess you could make that claim. Where'd you move? Oh wait, yeah, you moved you didn't move super far, right? You just moved far enough where you're not in the same school anymore. So let's go back to this site and see if we can find the erosive potential of some flavored waters. The S&P, is it still up? I was actually looking to check. And I was trying to look into it. It looks like let me see. One sec. I don't know. It should be. But I don't know. It's not showing up on my end. When I tried to connect to it, I'm not seeing it. So something is not working. So I got to look into it a little bit more to figure out what the dealio is. I have no idea. Might be something to do with the version, because Minecraft has gone through some updates since the last time I logged into it. So I updated my Minecraft, and then this, I did upgrade the server. So it should be working. The problem is it's not, so it's another one of those things I'll have to troubleshoot. I was actually going to try and pop on today, to be honest, but I ended up, but now it seems like I got more work to do to try and figure it out. Buddy? Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to look real quick and see what happened with some of the files. For the graphic organizer, do you want us to just use shapes to make it, or should we just go to images? You can just get images. Just make sure you find images that are accurate for that. And yeah, that is my dog. One thing could be about the server is that maybe the payments got stopped, which means I would have to restart that. What is the R group when amino acids are linked together? What is the R group when amino? So when amino acids are linked together, the R group is the same as it was when they're not linked together. Maybe here, let me draw something so that it might make it a little bit clearer. So let's say that I have a amino acid. Okay, I'm just drawing it very basic. Well, hold on. Let's do this. Let's start like this. Let's go ahead and do this. So here's your amino acid. Okay, you got the R group on there. I'm gonna make this smaller. So here's a free floating amino acid, just kind of moving around. What's going to happen, right, if we're going to make a protein, we take this amino acid and it gets connected to the next one. Oops. Through what we call a peptide bond. then it gets connected to another one, so on and so forth, right? And this is how we create our protein. So the R groups, they stay here. They're just there. They don't change. It's still just hanging off of the protein. And these R groups are what give the amino acid its properties. So what I've shown you here, this is its primary structure. Remember we talked about that. Right? This is the primary structure. And so what will start to happen is these R groups, right now it just says R, right? But we know that this is a placeholder for something. So let's say that this R group is a certain kind of, there's like let's just use an example. Actually, you know what we'll do? So we'll do this. So we'll draw down here a simplified version of this. So I'm going to draw this, this, and this. And we'll say this is amino acid 1 connected to 2, connected to 3. Right? So what I'm showing here is just like a simplified version of what I have above. And now where the R group is, I'm going to draw like something to represent it. So maybe this is one R group. This is another. So I'm making sure we can see that they're different. And then the last one maybe is something like, right? So now we have these different R groups. What might happen is, let's say this R group here is like chemically attracted to this R group. What we might see happen is something like this chain will start to fold where these R groups will want to be close to each other. What's up, Cybeek? Yeah, the Minecraft music in the background, yeah. I was trying to log in and I couldn't, so now it's just sitting there in the menu, giving us some nice soothing sounds. So this is what might happen. And so what we would say is that now we went from the primary structure, but because the R groups are starting to interact with each other in a close region, we might say that this is starting to enter what we call secondary structure, because it's starting to, the R groups are starting to interact a little bit here. And it's causing this chain to fold a little bit. I'm trying to log in, Cybeek. I'm trying to get back into the Minecraft server, and everything should be working. I'm not sure why. Make sense, Cryptic? Okay, cool. Fabric jar, server.jar. Okay, I'm going to try to reset the server. I'm going to force stop the server. We'll restart the server and see what happens. Okay, starting it back up. Maybe a reset will help. I have migrated my account. I did it the last week, I believe. I'm restarting the server. It's still going. Let's see. I migrated my account, so that should be fine. I think it's more an issue on the server side. It's not my account. It's the server, because the server I haven't really accessed it in a long time. So it's probably got some issues. Yeah, like it's not starting. See, this is the issue. The server is not starting up properly, which is not a good thing. So I might have to I'm gonna back this up real quick. I'm going to restore this till, hold on a second. The last date I have here is 6. October 6th. No, October 7th. Oh, wait, hold on. That's today. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, that doesn't make a sense. Okay. I might have messed it. I might have messed the whole thing up. Actually, to be fair, when I tried to update the server to a recent fabric, to the newest fabric one, so that we could play. And maybe in my updating it, I corrupted something. I just did it through the normal process. You want to see the logs? What kind of logs, though? I don't have any logs to show you because the server is not online. So the problem is the server is not online. I don't think. It's... I'll try and find. It should say something in console. I guess I'll show you the chat log real quick. Let's see if I can get this. How do I download the chat log? I will say this, it has been spamming the same thing. The chat log has been being spammed. Same thing over and over and over again. Let's see. I gotta look for the. Okay, I'm a little rusty on like where to find this stuff, so I think I remember now. I'll go back into the. So I'm looking for the logs, and those are in the logs folder. There it is. Logs from. Let's just go ahead and look at the recent ones. So let me. So here's the log, I think. I don't know if this makes any sense to you. It says a critical error occurred caused by fabric loader contradiction exception, creating empty clause. Yeah, Kosh, you know how to read this way better than I do. I've never really learned much about programming. Third line. This one. Mod resolver dot resolve. The Delta Logger mod, it should work. So is it not starting up because one of the mods that we had originally is maybe no longer compatible? Right. Oh, yeah, that's right. We did have mods on there. So that was probably the mistake I made, is trying to update this, but forgetting that we had mods that we hadn't updated appropriately as well. So we got to remove the mods. Well, is it possible that it's looking for it, but it's finding an improper version of it? I'm going to delete it and see what happens. Now the question is, how do I figure out, how do I get in there and find the... Problem is, we might delete this mod and then it might move to the next one and do the same thing. So it's almost like we should probably just sort of disable mods in general. Yeah, because see, I'm looking at all these mods in here. I see Carpet Extra 1.165, Delta Logger 1.16.5. I'm seeing like Lithium Fabric 1.16.5. Every mod that's in here is all outdated. So what is going to have to happen is we just delete all the mods right off the bat, which will probably break a lot of the stuff that people had built. So Akash, if I reset the server, which I could do, but the problem is, can I log into a 1.16.5 server from a 1.17 client? Because that's what I've already updated my my Minecraft to 1.17. Is it backwards compatible? Let me see. So try it and see what happens. It is? Okay, let's just do that and see. Maybe that'll at least help us decide if the actual server is broken or if it's just a version issue with the mod. So let's 1.1.65. We're going to change the version. We'll restart now and see how this works. Let's see. What is this going to do? Get rid of that log. Oh, something's happening. Okay, looks like it's back online. Yeah, so it's a mod issue to be sure. So it's back online. And so now what we want to do if we want to join the server is I have to change my settings to switch the client back to, let's see if I can figure out how to do that. I kind of like that Minecraft lets you drag the window to any size you like. It's kind of nice. Kind of chill. They don't try to like limit you. Okay. So if I want to change my version, do I have to get out of, I have to get out of here, huh? I have to quit the game. Right as I had dragged it. All right, give me 1 second. Got to change it from the initial menu, right? Oh yeah, I see. instead of latest released, I can change it to wait, installations. Oh shoot, I don't know if this is right. Hold on just a second. Wait a minute. Why do I have 2 accounts now? This is not good. I don't think the account that I was using before got migrated properly. Akash, are you saying because like you logged into the server and somebody like trashed it? I mean, it's been many months since anyone logged in that I'm aware of, so it's totally possible that someone could have gone in there and griefed the whole thing. Let's see. Well, actually, no, they couldn't have because they had to be whitelisted for the server. So my guess is that it would have been. Well, on my Minecraft screen, I have basically 2 accounts. I have. Oh no, never mind. I see. It says 1, and then it can choose to migrate it, but that's the one that I thought I already migrated. Okay, I don't know. So if I show this, let me see. Give me 1 sec. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not showing up. Oh, never mind. I figured out how to do this. Got it. I can do an unnamed. I can pick the version, and I can create an installation, right? And just use the game directory to create a installation of version 1. Okay, so just basically it's basically just installing 1.1.65. Got it. So let's see if this does the old trickaroo here. Yeah, right. It shows 2 accounts when you log in. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why they show both, even though like one of them was already migrated. It like gives you the option to migrate the account that you've already migrated. It's kind of confusing. Okay, I'm gonna lag here for a second. While I log in. All right, let's check. I think today would be a good day just to log in and see let's go ahead and make sure this is properly sized and see how it's looking. Been a while since we logged in though, huh? Wow. It's got to load big time. I feel like it's a little laggy. Yeah, there's a lag to this. This is not smooth. So we should rename this whole area to the, basically this is the, that feels better now actually. It feels better. We should rename this whole server to the, Pandemic server. Minecraft Pandemic. Alright, I have to remember even how to play the game. Alright, tab. E, yeah, that opens up our inventory. Got the wings, the big brain helmet, the knee knockers, the swift boots, TPWK. It does still feel a little bit laggy. I'm going to be fair about it. This must be stressful on my PC. Not too much, actually. We got it working, Marcus. We figured it out. I had tried to update the server to 1.17 to 1.17.1, but some of the mods that we had on this were not compatible, so it was the server was not able to load properly. What is the IP? It is, let me remind myself here. There you go. Thanks, Akash. Yeah, it's still a little laggy. I don't wonder if it's on my end, it's laggy. It feels delayed. It's got that kind of annoying little bit of a delay. Almost feels like you're in water trying to move around. It's like there's some weird delay to it. And I wonder if that's because I am not full screened. I'm in a weird resolution. I also upgraded my monitor since I played, so now I'm running at 1440p instead of 1080p. Let me whitelist you, Saibi. Give me 1 sec. Oh yeah, I could check my let me check the old task manager. So right now Java is not doing too bad. It's definitely taxing my memory. It's 2.6 gigs of memory from Java right now. It seems unreasonable. I don't know. Seems okay. I think it's just so what's your Saibi? So in order for me to whitelist you, I have to remember how to do this, by the way. So if I go back to shoot, how do I do this again? It is in. Oh, I do that in the console. Oh, right, that's right. So I go. That's right, yeah. I just use the whitelist command. Whitelist, and then add, and then username. What's your username, Saibik? Okay. With the underscore? Okay. Let's see if this works. Okay, let me know if that didn't work for you. Oh, now there's no lag. Oh yeah, now we're smooth. I think it was just loading the world, to be honest. There's some we had some good times on this server back in the day. Around this time last year, the server was getting into full swing. About a year ago, right? Just so we're in October. Yeah. Oh yeah, you have to create a if you want to access the server as of right now, you'll have to create a new Minecraft install with version 1.1.65. We'll eventually migrate. The plan for me is to migrate this server to 1.17. I just have to update. I have to deal with the whole mod issue, which will take a little bit of time. So I'll have to decide whether or not we want to upgrade the mods or just get rid of them. Problem is, if we get rid of them, I think some of the more like technical farms that Creepy made might go defunct on us. So for example, how do I use my fireworks again? It's right click. Is it? No. Probably wait till 1.18 to upgrade. Yeah, we could do that. Right click in the air. Right click is causing me to shoot. Dude, right click is not working. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Jump. It's not working. I thought that's what I was trying before. I thought I just had misremembered. Dude. Bro, what is happening? What's going on? Oh, is that a double? It's a double jump. Right, to fly. There we go. It's the old double jump. That's got it. Got it. So like this farm. Whoa, there's a creeper up there. Oh, I almost destroyed that farm. We need to light that. Get out of here. Options. Let's go to sound settings here. Is the sound okay? I'm trying to see. Look at my sound settings real quick. It looks okay, right? Let's hear. You can hear that. I think that's fine. Yeah, that was Creepy's ambition to make a flying race course, but he got 2 rings, and then never finished. It was supposed to be part of the Olympic Games. Like he was gonna make these rings so that they would detect that you went through them or not. But I think it was just too ambitious of a thing that ended up never panning out. And then we have all of Nate's little like cool little villages that he built over here. His little kiosks and stalls. That is pretty good. What up, Mr. Chang? Long time no see. Yeah, then the gargoyle statue that you guys built was pretty sick. Pretty nice. Oh yeah, we had maxed out our... And then I think Nate and Cytokine were trying to build this crazy castle. They never really got around to completing it. Yeah, the interior of it still has everything laid out to try and complete. What the heck, dude? How do they get so many horses in here? Fully kitted out with gold armor? Diamond armor? 64 emeralds. I don't know. Did you open something? Did you find some emeralds? This server is pretty tapped in regard. When I say tapped, I mean like we kind of did everything on it. Like everybody was sort of like fully upgraded, fully decked out. Just came to your inventory. I have no idea. Did you, maybe you were walking and you picked it up? Like there was just some emeralds that had dropped on the ground somehow? Your stream has so much delay. Try refreshing your stream. That should usually fix the delay issue. What homework are you doing, Mr. Chang? Wait, how do you open doors and stuff? Oh yeah, right click. I forgot all the controls in this game. It's so crazy. Like every control I just completely forgot. Developmental psychology. Nice. 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 This is where it all started, this server, right here. This was the first structure. Dorothy's cat house. Okay. Got it. Don't know what's going on over here. A lot of this stuff is just... Oh yeah, all of these chests. These are now like completely disorganized. Oh yeah, the slime farm. I forgot that we had made this slime farm. Wait, this is the going down. Oh yeah. See, this is what I didn't understand. Why did we make this going down one? Like a bubble chute. Why not just have a drop? It's actually slower. I don't have the migration cape equipped. What do you mean? Migration cape? I thought this was the best cape you could have. Wings. Or sorry, mending. Mending and unbreaking 3, right? That was supposed to be, if my research proved correct, that was the best. Oh, migration cape. Like, you got a cape for migrating your account? Is that what you're referring to? I don't know where you find that, though. Oh, yeah, Billy Bob Joes. He wrote a book, I remember, in here. Well, I don't have that cape. It's in the launcher. Okay. I'll take a look next time and see if I can find it. But the problem with that cape, though, right, is you have to equip it instead of something like wings, which is kind of annoying. Because, like, why would you ever equip that instead of your wings, you know? It's cosmetic. This slime farm actually ended up working out pretty good, to be honest. The one thing that we never finished, and I want to go check on it really quickly, was the wither farm. We could never get that wither farm to work properly. That was really frustrating. Spent so long trying to make that thing work. Oh, so wait, you can wear the cape and the wings at the same time, and so the cape just gives you a cosmetic thing. All right, let's go. How do I go? Oh yeah, we went this way to go up to the. That's right. I made this thing so I could quickly go up to this portal. Oh, sorry. It wasn't. It was a wither skeleton farm. Okay. I have to be very careful because I haven't played this in a while, and I could literally just die because I have no idea what I'm doing. I should just willy-nilly go walking around here without thinking about this. So if I remember correctly, we were trying to build. Ooh. We were going to build it over here. Go take a look at this thing. It was up this way. See if my muscle memory serves me. We went this way. Through here. I think. Yep, down this way. Through here. I think it's because I ran this so many times back in the day. Ace! What's up? I'm revisiting the old Minecraft server from earlier this year. And just sort of reminiscing on the things that we had built. And also was going to now check this wither skeleton farm. Or the wither skeleton farm? Because we were trying to get wither roses farmed. I don't remember why we were doing this. Actually, now that I think about it. There was a reason why we were trying to make this. Oh yeah, and we had to, oh my god, we had to cover everything with these pressure plates to try and prevent spawns. And the reason why it was never going to work is because the wither there was just no way to cover everything we needed to cover with these. Like the work that we needed to do to cover everything adequately to get the spawns, I think was too much. It was just too much. And now I'm not even remembering which way to go here. The nice thing, though, is that there's not much monsters here because they can't spawn. Ah, here we go. There's this. Let's take a look. Nothing going on in there. Typical. Not surprised. Not a single skeleton in there. Oh, that's right, because you can't be, oh, it's not going to spawn unless you're somewhat close by, right? So, like, right now, I think it's set up in such a way where it should work. But, there was two issues. One, we couldn't get the spawns to happen, and two, even when the spawns did happen, the skeletons would get stuck and they wouldn't actually fall down, and we could not figure out why because we had set it up properly. Teaching is going pretty good. I like it a lot more than actually I like teaching in person a lot more than online, but there's definitely pros and cons to both. So the pros of teaching in person is you actually can people actually talk to each other when you have them do like group work. They don't just sit there in a blank breakout room. So that's pretty good, and that helps, I think, students process things and work together to understand things and do the different kinds of work, which is good. It's also good just from a perspective of being able to interact with people in a more natural way. And we can do labs and more interesting demonstrations, which is good. Downside is it's a little more tiring because the energy required is a little bit more, at least for a teacher's perspective. And let's see, what else is and then the upside about Zoom is it's just easy. It's, to be fair, like if I was being like completely honest, if I was like, I want to do the least amount of work possible as a teacher, Zoom would be the answer, because I just get up in the morning, roll out of bed, turn my computer on, and go from there. Especially now, last year it was a lot of work to like transfer everything to remote learning style, but once it was transferred, like I could just, plug and play, and then it's not as much work. But the problem is it's not as effective for teaching. So I prefer the way we are. All in all, definitely a improvement. How you been? How's it been going for you on the student side? So I don't think at this point, the only thing that I remember that I didn't finish in this entire world, or that I was like wanting to do more, was to get this this farm working. But I also know that getting it to work would require going around and spawn proofing a lot more of this area. And that's not something I'm super interested in pursuing anymore at this point. I don't even think we have the required. Oh God, we have tons of iron. We have plenty of iron to make our plates. Oh my gosh. You rolled out of bed at 7:57. Nice. Yeah, not having to commute. What up, T-Chill? Long time. How's it going? Not having to, you can save yourself like on a weekly basis. I probably save myself, let me think. How much time did doing Zoom save me? It saved me 20, let's just say about the commute, like for me, like let's say a 20-minute commute, 25. So that's like, let's just say 40 minutes a day times 5 is 900 minutes a week, which is what? 900 divided by 60 is what? Like 15 out. No, that's not right. 15. No. Wait, did I do something wrong? Hold on. 40 minutes. Oh, it's minutes times 5 is 200, not 900. 200 divided by 60. 3 hours. That's crazy. 3.33. 3.33 hours a week I saved, which is a lot of gas money. It's better for the environment, better for the wallet, and just you can use your time. It's an extra 3 hours, 3 hours a week. 9.8 days total per the year. That's pretty crazy. You like learning in real life better. Oh yeah, the sports. That's true. That is true. Nice. How's the football season been going? I haven't really been following the how the team's been doing this year. You're right, T-Chill. I am still in the office hours. I forgot about that. You pay $2.80 a gallon in Texas. How dare you bring that up? I'm deeply offended by that. I think I was driving around today and I passed by a gas station and the gas price here was like $4.97. That's like on the more expensive side. Like you can find it for like $4.30, $4.40. But I mean, even just regular unleaded is starting to get around $5 a gallon, which is pretty wild. Two and 5 or 2 and 6. Hey, at least you've won some games. That's good. At least you're winning some games. It's better. I remember last year, Nathan was talking about the baseball team being like 0 and 16 or something crazy like that. It's not going. Oh, you. So the. Oh yeah, I remember you talking about that. T-Chill. You asked another girl out, but said she said no. That's all right. That's totally fine. I think the more you do it, the more you ask people out, right? The more it becomes, you get less and less attached to the outcome, which is a good thing. Because I think when you're younger and you're just starting to do that kind of a thing, it's really kind of intimidating, and you get really attached to like, well, what if they say no, or what if it, what if I embarrass myself, or what if the person is completely like disgusted by me even bringing the thought up. But typically, mostly what it is you ask, and they're pretty usually the person's pretty like flattered. And then if they're not interested, they'll just say so, in usually a pretty nice way. And then you can be proud of yourself for doing something that took courage. And then that should build more confidence. So even a failure, quote unquote failure, or even when you ask somebody and they're not interested, or there's still a win there that can be had. You've been trying to for 2.5 years? Well, it'll happen when it'll happen. As long as you just keep putting yourself out there, putting yourself in situations where you have opportunities to meet people, and you keep trying, eventually something will happen. It'll work out. I don't even know what I'm doing right now on the server. I'm just looking around. I don't even know what there is to do. Maybe I should just go back to the basics. Just build something. What should I build? Let me get out of here real quick. You have some good highlights. That's pretty slick. Any highlights that I could see? Is there highlights anywhere? Do they post them? Or make them available? How do I get out of here? Yeah, see, like all this stuff probably needed to be spawn proof, to be honest. But I'm not into it. Not into it. Okay, cool. I'll check a look at them. I'm not logged on to Discord right now. I'll take a look later. Wait, what position are you again? Or what positions do you play? I know you told me before, but I don't remember. I'm going back, top side, surface side. So Cybik, I can use Multiverse for that to make a new server. So how does that work? Explain. Because I'm using a hosting site for this server, and I don't think they would let you just make more than one server on their site for free if that's their business model. Oh, how'd you survive? How dare you? That's true, Akash. We can update 1.8. We'll see what the new update brings as far as stuff to do. Because I'm just down to like just try new content too. So Ticho, by the way, when you said both girls were polite when you asked them out, that's been my experience for the most part. I think a lot of times movies or your head sometimes creates scenarios where the person's going to be like not so polite, but most people are really polite. You're a slot receiver and DB. Got it. That's pretty cool. That's probably the positions that I remember playing football a little bit. Never, not in high school, but in like I don't know, whatever is before high school. Is it Pop Warner stuff? I forget what it was called. I remember playing receiver, and I wasn't DB, but I was free safety. I would play safety. I preferred playing safety over receiver, although I love receiving because like I think catching the ball is really fun, and I was actually pretty decent. Like I had pretty decent hands, coordination wise, but I was just too scared of getting hit. That was my main issue at that age. And when I look back, it's kind of makes sense when you're young. Like you don't want to get smashed. The other problem is at that age, the oh shoot, I always do that. The difference in like size between people is huge. Some people have like matured so much faster than other people at that age. You get people that are quite literally like almost fully matured, and then people that have not even started puberty. So it's kind of intimidating as somebody who was definitely on the more delayed side as far as physical development. I would prefer to be somebody who is tackling, not being tackled. And that was always something that I like limited my football stuff. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing your clips. See some good catches, some good hits. All right, what is there to do in this here world besides just walk around and look at old stuff that we built last year? Would I believe you if you told me you were 6'4"? Yeah, why wouldn't I? I would have no reason not to believe you. Oh, Multiverse. Yeah, I did see that. Multiverse is used to make multiple worlds on one server. Huh. Let me look real quick. Let me look it up. Multiverse. Okay, Multiverse. Let's take a look. So this is a plugin. Question is, did this plugin work on... Here we go. How to use Multiverse Core plugin. Let me pull this up real quick. So this, I use Apex hosting, so this is actually by Apex hosting. This is pretty good. Oh wow, look how recent this article is. Literally like a month ago. Multiverse is another plugin you'll often find in various types of Minecraft servers. The way is best applied in a survival server with an MC MMO focus like this one by allowing you to separate a spawn world from the main world that you'll play. Many servers do this, having a sort of lobby area. Oh, got it. Okay, so this is like what what's it called? What's that one server that has all the mini games that people play? Oh, they have like a lobby area, and then you can go into different worlds from that. So that's what they use. They use this then. Okay. Yeah, Hypixel. That's right. Hypixel. That's what I was thinking. Okay, so this is seems pretty straightforward, but we'd have to switch to paper. Plugins require you to run a paper server or Spigot. Is Fabric is the Fabric something different than either of those, or is Fabric one of those two? Oopsie, my typing is bad. Is Fabric a Spigot server? Oh no, it's not. It's its own thing. This is what Creepy really pushed last year. We used to be on paper, and he was very adamant about us going to Fabric so he could build his what was it? All of his things, his like crazy contraptions that were pretty cool. So we switched, yeah. So if we wanted to use Multiverse, we'd have to switch back, essentially, which would probably break a lot of his farms. So it seems like we went a different direction than what Multiverse would allow. So yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know a lot about how it all works because kind of Creepy. I took it mostly from Creepy back in the day when he was kind of giving his input. It seems pretty reasonable. So yeah, it seemed pretty good. But of course now it's all things are going to change as we upgrade to 1.18. So I think yeah, we'll probably wait till 1.18 and see what happens at that point. Let's see. Wait, who are we talking? Who are we talking about? Who was talking about this last time? I just saw an interesting video here by like Healthy Gamer GG about why video games become not so fun after a certain period of time. Erebus, was it you? If you're still there. Or what? Arcane? Wait. It might have been Arcane. I think it was Arcane, actually. Talking about, like, what happens to games over time. Let's see what our our Twitch therapist guru says about why games become not so fun over time. Hold on, let me see. Oh, you know what? Oh, I'm still in my office hours scene. I was wondering why everything was like not the way I remember it being. So let's do this actually. I'm not gonna die. I'm not dying. We are not dying. Oopsie, come on now. Close the door. Okay, we're going back to the main scene. This is what we used to do. This is the days. We'd have the game. We'd just be we'd just be sharing the desktop. We'd have Minecraft up. And we would do this. We'd have window capture. No, we would have window capture with a picture-in-picture. Boom. Visible. Boom. Okay. Got it. These were the days. Now I'm remembering. We have this up here in the corner. Got it. This is the way it used to be. I'm dusting it. I'm dusting off the old streaming stuff. There we go. All right, so the title of this video is Why Our Brain Makes Games Not Fun. Let's see. Let me adjust the audio here.
Battle royales are so addictive and people play them so much is because of the denial of reward. The fact that you don't always win actually makes it like far more addicting. Alright, I don't feel enjoyment from video games anymore, and what can I do about it? I never have much of a social life, so I usually spent most of my time playing video games. But it's been about a decade of that, being the thing that I do in my free time, and what I'm noticing now is I have a mental block when it comes to starting new games and playing one in general. I only manage to play games I get addicted to not enjoy. For example, CSGO. It's a time sink that I'm only ever able to play, and at this point, I can only play games for the sake of playing them. So I was just wondering if there was a way for me to not only be able to start games I want to play, but enjoy them too. So this is a situation where someone's been playing games for 10 years. They also have noticed that the only games that they can play are the ones that they don't enjoy.
I've been playing games for
and they can't even start to play new games because
almost
they
30
don't
years.
enjoy it anymore. And they actually want to learn how to enjoy games again.
And I'm still playing them.
So we're going to start by sharing 2 or maybe 3 principles of neuroscience, and then we're going to go to some practical
And people say
advice.
only kids play games.
So the first principle of neuroscience to understand, or maybe psychology.
So this is just to give you some context, this is a psychologist who basically does streams on Twitch where he sort of brings the perspective of a psychologist to the gaming community, so to speak. I think he was a gamer. He was a gamer when he was younger, and he struggled with addiction to video gaming, and it kind of interfered with a lot of his, studying and that kind of thing. And he, being a gamer, he's aware of sort of some of the toxic culture that gaming can have, and also some of the negative impacts that gaming addiction can have. And so his whole thing is trying to bring mental health awareness to the gaming community, and tries to help people understand how to enjoy gaming in a more healthy way, I would say, maybe a more responsible, moderate way. And so oftentimes on his stream, he'll do little lectures, but he'll also sometimes just do what I don't think for liability reasons he can call therapy sessions. But he will have conversations with people in a way that is very similar to how a therapist might have that conversation with somebody. But it gets a little sketchy, because if you start offering therapy, like you have liability as a therapist. So I think it gets a little bit borderline there, but for the most part, he keeps it pretty good. And so at the end of the day, I think it's mostly just demonstrating what good therapy could look like through a conversation that's very therapy-esque, but is not classified as therapy because of the liability. So, what's up, Ashi? So yeah, that's the gist. So basically, I think it's a pretty cool thing that he's doing in regards to providing a stream that people can sort of watch to get like more of a healthy perspective on gaming, because I'm sure you all know, and I've had experience with this, like video gaming is a double-edged sword in regards to its pros and cons. So especially when you're young, and video games are really, really like addicting. They can really throw you into some problematic territory if you're not careful, which I experienced that too, for sure. It's probably one of the reasons why I didn't do so well in college, is I just sort of, it took up a lot of my time. So let's listen to why our brains make games not fun over time. And I'm almost positive I know the answer to this, but I think it's just good to reinforce this idea that your brain has like a sort of a dopamine system that thrives on reward and that kind of stuff. What up, Vivek? I saw you came in earlier, Vivek, and you asked a question about shoot, now I forget your question. But I wasn't 100% sure what your question was. Hold on a second. Where is my Restream chat? Let me do something here. Hold on. I'm going to go switch back to something real quick. No. Go to office hours. I'm going to copy that, go back to the main scene and paste that. So that's there. I'm going to and now Restream chat should not go. Is that okay up there? Sure, I guess. We'll leave it there. All right. There we go. We're kind of talking about addictions a little bit. We're talking about we're just listening to someone talk about why like things like video games become not fun after a certain period of time. I think every person who's ever played video games for long enough has experienced that, like, losing interest in games in general kind of feeling. And he's going to talk about why that is from a brain chemistry level, I believe. So, Ace, you said you used to play JV in the beginning season, but I play varsity now, and me and Maz, another sophomore, are the only ones that are ready, but I play the most. Nice. So you're the sophomore that has the most playing time on varsity. That's pretty good, dude. Is that setting you up for like getting to become more of a starting role as you move into your junior and senior years? That's pretty good. Okay, let's listen to our healthy gamer guy.
Is that people have done numerous studies on why video games are addictive, okay? And so when I say addictive, what that means is, remember, an addiction is something that reinforces a behavior. And this will get to principal neuroscience too in a second. But why games are addictive is actually the denial of reward. So what makes a game addictive is not winning, but the fact that you don't always win. Mm-hmm. So part of the reason that battle royales became so addictive, and in some parameters, Fortnite, for example, is the most successful game ever in like...
Well, okay, Fortnite, yes, that makes sense. But also think about like League of Legends, why that's so addictive. because like most of the time you have like a garbage experience and you lose, or it just feels bad. But those moments when it feels good and everything, and you like snowball and everything works, and your team is actually legit and everyone's communicating and you win, those are like, oh. And so you're constantly searching for that, like that hit. That's the same reason why people get addicted to slot machines, actually. Because like you pull it, you lose, and then you win, and it's like, okay, keep going, I gotta hit that again. It's super manipulative. Like people have gotten really good at manipulating our dopamine centers for their own benefit.
Some dimension. So if you look at like the rate at which Fortnite dominated the market and how much money they made, how quickly, Fortnite like is number one in some parameters. And so
the homecoming game. That's right.
Like, what's the whole thing?
Wish I had seen that one.
Wouldn't you think, like, don't people like playing video games? But then you have a game like Fortnite where I think you have like 100 players that are competing for one victory spot. And so I think part of what they sort of, I don't know that they sort of did this intentionally, but part of the reason why battle royales are so addictive and people play them so much is because of the denial of reward. So the fact that you don't always win actually makes it like far more addicting. So that has nothing to do with fun, and we'll get to that in a second, okay? So first thing to understand is that the addiction aspect, playing a video game despite not enjoying it and like not being able to quit, despite not having fun, has to do with an addiction. And that has to do with like dopamine and our reinforcement kind of circuitry. So there's the mesolimbic circuit in the brain, which sort of governs this, and the main neurotransmitter is dopamine. And so that's like behavioral reinforcement, and the denial of reward strongly stimulates that system. It's also why gambling is so addictive, because you don't always win, right? So the random reinforcement schedule is more addicting than the consistent reinforcement schedule. The second thing to understand, if it's addictive, why don't I have fun? So the circuits in your brain that involve dopamine reward circuits and behavioral reinforcement are actually separate from the hedonic circuits of the brain. So the reward circuits and the hedonic separates are technically
a Twitch
separate.
streamer named
this is
Healthy
kind of how
Gamer.
We understand this, okay? So the
Later,
hedonic
Cybeek.
circuits of the brain actually involve like
See you later.
different receptors, and even use things like endocannabinoids and like different compounds. So a lot of like pleasure seeking and like pleasure and enjoyment isn't necessarily the dopamine circuit. They're actually discrete circuits. Dopamine's also involved in pleasure because the brain isn't, it's not simple like that. Like there's just circuit 1 and circuit 2. But we do know that the experience of pleasure and the experience of like motivation and reward and behavioral reinforcement are actually somewhat separate. And we know this actually by studying the brains of people with schizophrenia. So what we know in the brains of people with schizophrenia is that like reinforcing behavior is very difficult for them, but their pleasure actually doesn't decrease. So for example, like if someone has bad schizophrenia, it's going to be really hard for them to like cook themselves a meal, but whether they cook it or not, they still enjoy or derive just as much pleasure from it. And so people got pretty confused, and they were trying to figure out like if people with schizophrenia are still like getting pleasure out of it, why don't they do it? And this is when they stumbled upon this discovery that hedonics and like motivational drive are actually separate circuits. So I suspect what's going on is that you've got some kind of like problem here in terms of you've got some circuit in your brain that has developed a habit and has almost like an addictive kind of nature to it. And this also goes back to, we had a lecture recently about ADHD and substance use. And remember that like when you start using a substance, there are like different phases of addiction. So in the first phase, it's like stimulates a particular part of brain and you have fun with it. And then as an addiction sets into your brain, it actually travels from more of your like prefrontal cortex and mesolimbic system into your striatum, and it moves to a different part of your brain, and then it becomes a habit. And once it becomes a habit, the reward, like the pleasure from it, starts to decrease. So we kind of see this a lot in long-term gamers where they're addicted to the game, but they don't even have fun playing it. Like even think about like MOBAs or like CSGO is a really good example of this, where like it's really easy to tilt. Like if you actually, take someone who plays 8 hours of games a day, the amount of positive feeling that they generate from playing the game is actually outweighed by the negative feeling, right? And so there's another kind of principle here where remember that the video game doesn't just give you pleasure, it also takes away pain from other parts.
Hedonics is related to pleasure. So like if you ever heard the term like hedonistic, if someone's like a hedonistic person, they're basically just a pleasure-seeking person. So hedonics is this that has to do with pleasure.
Parts of your life. So playing video game, this is something that's pretty consistent, is it kind of numbs out your mind and like protects you against the negative stuff. So those are a couple of interesting neuroscientific principles about, you know, why you can get stuck playing a game and not even enjoy it and not be able to quit. The next thing is kind of naturally becomes, okay, so then what do you do about it? So the simplest way to stop playing games, or even start, because this person's question wasn't how do I stop playing games, it's how do I start enjoying them again, is to actually do a dopamine detox. So we have a YouTube video about this, but I think that resetting all of those neurotransmitters and neurochemicals and like the ratio of like receptors to like what's being secreted.
Oh, okay.
I've seen good progress happen in about 2 weeks for most people. So like don't play any video games and ideally steer clear of technology for about 2 weeks. No Reddit, no YouTube or anything like that.
That seems too short.
Grab a book. Like it helps if you kind of do this over like a vacation or something like that. We've got a whole video about it. But if you engage in a dopamine detox and reset your dopamine circuitry, like if you kind of like abstain from video games or other like short hanging technology for a period of 2 weeks, you will find that you're able to engage in more pleasurable activity and even games will start being fun again. So I noticed that back when I was like addicted to video games, they weren't even fun. And now when I play video games, they're lots of fun. Like I love playing video games. They're so much fun. And I wish I could do it more. But
everyone is everyone pleasure seeking?
The more you do it, the
yes
less
and
pleasurable
no.
it becomes.
So
I'd say
so there's like when we say hedonistic, we typically mean like pleasure seeking in such a way where it's like immediate gratification kind of pleasure, not like long-term fulfillment kind of thing. So like at bottom, yeah, like everyone's kind of driven motivationally by certain kinds of pleasure seeking. But at the same time, you can also seek things that are not quote unquote pleasurable, but are offering like a little bit more of a long-term satisfaction. So when we say someone is hedonistic, there's like a difference there, right? There's a more of like an immediate pleasure, like where, so someone might eat, like let's say you have like you're like hedonistic person is just going to be relatively gluttonous, right? They're going to eat all the things that taste good, and so they're getting like this sort of immediate kind of pleasure. Yes, there are people that do avoid immediate gratification. I know it's hard to do, but there are people. They eat all that food and like, oh yeah, I get all this pleasure, but like maybe in the long run they're not so happy because of course, you know, there's consequences to that. Like maybe they get diabetes or they become overweight or they just become unhealthy in general, and that causes them actually more suffering in the long run. So a person might abstain from immediate gratification in an effort to have like longer term well-being. This is called delayed gratification, or actually I don't know if there's another term for this.
Fastest ways to dopamine detox. Now, remember that dopamine detox is, people don't understand this. They don't know what to expect. So the main thing about dopamine detox is to remember that like the main enemy in dopamine detox is going to be boredom. So you will be bored for 2 weeks. And you're like, what you have to survive is like a period of boredom, which sounds terrifying.
It's so funny, like boredom is such a funny thing. I did hear about the Twitch leak. I did. I heard about the Twitch leak. It's kind of an interesting thing. Not too surprising when I looked around at the different names there and saw like, what did I see? I was not surprised at the top streamers, and I was not surprised at the number. I was actually surprised that they weren't making as much. But then again, I believe that those numbers did not include donations, merch, bits. It was basically just salary paid out by Twitch to its partner streamers. So you have to keep in mind that those numbers are probably a fraction of what they actually make, right? So who was at the top? I think it was XQC, right? Like XQC was at the top with like 8 million paid out by Twitch, or 9 million or something like that. So if he makes 8 million in a year, just straight as salary from Twitch, it didn't include taxes. So those were pre-tax numbers. Okay. So, all right. So the pre-tax numbers, so let's assume they're getting taxed. Most likely their tax rate is probably close to 40%. If you look at the tax brackets. So you can say like 40% of that is gone. Or wait, are you saying those are, are those pre or post tax numbers? I didn't look into it. So let's say XQC has 8 million that was reported on that document that was leaked. If that's pre-tax, that's going to be, that means that they'll take home, what will they take home? Like, let's say 40% of that. So they'll take home, let's just say 5 mil. But then you have to think about how much are they making from straight donations? How much are they making from like bits and emojis and like the different tiered subs? Wait, is that including subs? No, that is including subs, because that's including everything that Twitch is paying them, right? So Twitch would pay them their partner share. They get their subs from Twitch. So it's not including just straight donations to like their PayPal or something. And it's also not including merch that they would be selling. And it's also not including sponsorships. So that number is only all Twitch, directly Twitch related things. So I think bits, subs, and any other sort of salary agreements they have with Twitch would be all there. But it doesn't include any peripheral stuff, which is usually a lot more. So for example, you think about somebody like LeBron James, right? They make a salary, right? So LeBron James is paid by the Los Angeles Lakers a certain salary, but that salary is actually a small fraction of his total income per year, because he has massive sponsorship deals with, I don't know who his sponsorships are. Is he with Nike or whoever, like his whatever companies he's with? He makes 2, 3, 4, 5, probably times that in other things. So yeah, so someone like XQC is, in terms of gross numbers, is probably taking home somewhere on the range of, like, I would say 15 to 20 mil a year. Probably that's conservative. Which is not surprising, because it's huge. Like his numbers, if he's getting like anywhere from like 50 to 100,000 people watching consistently, those are huge numbers. Those are numbers that are way bigger than most networks, most like TV networks, right? Like on average. So that's pretty good, and that's on a daily basis. So yeah, they're pulling in a lot of cash. These are not people that are scraping by, so to speak, at all. And I wonder, I don't know, I think it's obvious, so this isn't a surprise to me. So I wonder how many of the people who watch these streamers are shocked by this. Like, I wonder how many people are like, wow, I was donating to this guy / gal / person who I thought was like, I was helping him out. But wait, they make tens of millions of dollars? It's kind of, I wonder if people were like shocked by that. I don't think they would be, but then again, I don't know. It's crazy because I don't know what the audience, I don't think Twitch releases like demographics of viewerships for different streamers. Like, they don't show what percentage of the streamer viewers are, certain age ranges and stuff. Although I think Twitch, you have to be 13 plus to make an account, but still. Anyway, yeah, interesting stuff. Let's finish listening to this guy.
Everyone takes their cell phones to use the bathroom, right? Because like the idea of being bored, even for a brief amount of time, and having nothing to do, is like oddly terrifying to us. So if you guys want like an easy practice to prep you for a dopamine detox, it's very simple, but it's also kind of hard, but you can do it. Is every time you go to the bathroom, don't take your cell phone. Don't take anything to do when you use your bathroom. Just go to the bathroom and just do the bathroom. And if you really think about it, it's like, oh my God, I need the cell phone so bad. But no, you don't. Like, it's gonna be, you'll be in there like 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Like if you're unlucky, like 10 minutes.
That is true. That is kind of a
You'll be
crazy
okay.
thing. Back in the day before
Right?
cell phones, we actually had to
so like you'll be fine.
poop for
Like,
5
just go.
minutes
Like,
and
every
not
time when you do a number 2, like don't
browse
take your cell phone.
Instagram or something.
Go without it. Easy. That's a good way to prep for a dopamine detox. There's a whole video about how to dopamine detox well. So we kind of go into a lot of details about it. So check that video out on our YouTube channel. Okay?
Okay, that was basic. I thought that would be a little more interesting. I think that was relatively straightforward. I bring my phone with me, absolutely. What am I going to waste 5 minutes just staring at a wall? Are you kidding me? All right. I think I'm going to call it a night here. At this point, obviously, we are done. So I'm going to... Yeah, so Chicho, this is not at 1.17 yet because we have to upgrade the mods that we have on this server to be compatible until we upgrade the server. So right now we're still on 1.16. And most likely what we're going to do is because 1.18 is coming out soon, we're probably going to wait to upgrade everything till 1.18 and then upgrade the server and then check out the new content as a way to get back into some MC. I think. So yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits for the night. So I'll see everybody. I'll see you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your night. Bye.